What is up, Nerd Geeks? It is Alex from the Nerd Geek Network, and today I am doing a video I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that is my update to the Ghostface rankings. Now, I have some updates from Scream 6, which recently came out, so yeah. Some of my changes, I've switched some people around on the list, but for the most part it's the same, and I will not be counting the TV show this time. You guys should have seen this, but I'm not going to show it on camera. In my first take of this video, my Jason mask just fell over. I think Jason was a bit upset that I'm talking about Ghostface and not him. But Jason, we'll talk about you in another video, I promise. I mean, you're not part of the channel thumbnail. Your franchise isn't part of the channel thumbnail logo for nothing, because the font for the word "the" in the Nerd Geek Network is in the Friday the 13th font. So yeah, so we'll talk about you later in another video, eventually one of these days, probably, maybe not, I don't know, but yeah. So let's get into my Ghostface rankings though, guys. With Scream 6 came out, they had a very interesting opening kill, which was Ghostface killed this lady named Laura Crane, played by Samara Weaving, but then he took off the mask and revealed himself in the very beginning of the movie, which is when I knew this opening kill was Ghostface. Which puts at the bottom of our list Jason. Now, I didn't really have a problem with Jason, but he didn't have much screen time, so I couldn't really put him higher on the list, you know? We didn't get to see his character development throughout the story, you know? We didn't get to see, we really didn't get much of his motive. But yeah, we didn't spend much time with Jason, so yeah, I mean, sorry. But let's get to number 12 on our list, which would be Roman from Scream 3. I didn't love Scream 3, not gonna lie. It's grown on me, but I did not love Scream 3, so... And Roman being the only solo Ghostface, I felt like his motive, he being Sydney's half-brother, was just... I didn't love it, you know? I felt like it went back to, the beginning a little too much, you know? I know it was commenting on trilogies and how they always do that, but come on, man. Roman was just he was honestly just a weak killer, you know? I didn't love him. So yeah. But in our number 11 spot, we have Mrs. Loomis from Scream 2. Mrs. Loomis was a background character, so I did not love her as Ghostface. I was okay with her motive, though, that she just wanted revenge, you know, on Sydney for Billy's death. I felt like that was a good actual motive for a Ghostface killer, you know? But, yeah, she was a background character, so she didn't really get to do much, you know? Of course, she was the mastermind behind it all, but I didn't really feel her motive, really, you know? I felt her motive, but how do I put this, you know? It's like, I just didn't love her as the Ghostface killer. I thought she was a little too unpredictable, you know? I get that you don't want to make it like a super Sorry about that. I get that you don't want to make it a super predictable person as the killer, but Mrs. Loomis was too unpredictable, you know? No one could have guessed that it was her. So yeah. Next, though, at our number 10 spot, we have Quinn from Scream 6. Quinn was the weakest of the actual Ghostface in this movie. Okay, other than Jason, but... Quinn was the weakest of the main killers in this movie, mainly because she faked her death towards the beginning of the movie, so... Yeah, we didn't get to spend much time with her, as I've said, with Mrs. Loomis and Jason. we only get to spend time with her once we get to the climax, you know, where the final Ghostface versus Sam and Tara chat, all that. And yeah, I really did not like her as Ghostface, I'm not gonna lie. I predicted her as Ghostface when I did it, but I did not love how they handled her. I felt they should have kept her around for the entire thing, you know? But yeah. Other than that, though, I love Scream 6. I mean, honestly, I'd have to say Scream 6 very well might be my favorite in the franchise so far. But yeah. But after Quinn, let's get to number 9, which would be... Okay, you guys are going to hate me for this, but... Number 9 is Stu Macher from the first one. Stu was just annoying as all hell. I mean, just all his just... He was just annoying. I mean, God... Which, oh my god, when he was revealed as the killer, I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, just, yeah, he makes sense as the killer, that's for sure. He is definitely a freaking psychopath. But I didn't really, love Stu, I mean. So, yeah. But anyway... Getting into the Ghostface killers that I actually did really like. At number 8, we have Mickey Altieri from Scream 2. Mickey was the better Ghostface in this movie. I loved his motive, actually, that he wanted to get famous from his trial, you know? I felt that was a really good creative motive for them to use, the whole violence in cinema thing, but... He's at the bottom of the ones I really like simply because he's a little forgettable, you know? I'm not gonna lie, I sometimes forget about him completely, so yeah. But other than that, I think Mickey is a great Ghostface, so yeah. Anyway, though, at number 7, here are the two I really switched around from the last video. We have, at number 7, Amber from Scream 6. Or no, Amber was Scream. Never mind, Scream 5. I'm an idiot. Lol. Amber from Scream 5. Amber was crazy. She really embodied that psychotic energy. I felt. The actress who played her, Mikey Madison, did a phenomenal job portraying that. I mean, so yeah, but I felt Amber was, how do I say it, psychotic. I mean, she fit that. I mean, she was Tara's best friend, and they did a little different this time. They had her actually using her phone. She was trying to frame herself. I mean, to make it look like Ghostface was trying to frame her. She was trying to frame herself. I mean... well, obviously she wasn't, but she was making herself try to look suspicious even, you know? I mean, by having it be her phone that was calling everyone, I mean. But, yeah. So anyway, though, at number 6, we have the other Ghostface from Scream 5, Richie. Oh my god, Richie was a great Ghostface. He was crazy. I mean, oh my god, Scream 5 really was just embodying toxic fandom. Like, I'm looking at you guys, Star Wars fans. I mean, this movie made commentary on the toxic fandoms that were being done. I mean, how Stab had become toxic. I mean, it was just... And Richie was the embodiment of a toxic fan. I mean, he was killing people because he liked Stab movies, which I thought was made for a really scary killer, you know? I thought he was great as the killer. I really liked that, you know? It was different. But yeah, so after Richie, we are coming in to our top 5 Ghostface killers. In our number 5 spot, we have Ethan from Scream 6. And Ethan, oh my god. Ethan, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, despite me having someone ahead of him, I would have to say Ethan is probably my favorite Ghostface from this movie, but I thought the other one was better. But Ethan, he definitely had that psychotic energy down in the final act. I mean, he was played by Jack Champion, who was just coming off Avatar: The Way of Water, where he played a completely different character. I mean, Spider was so much different from Ethan. I mean, but yeah, I loved how Jack Champion portrayed the psychotic energy. He was just like, oh my god, I mean, and then how he died the same way Stu did, or I guess neither of them are truly dead, but we all know they both secretly survived. Hashtag Scream7, Ethan and then Stu team up. So yeah. But yeah, I liked Ethan. He had that nerdy nature to him. He put on that charade of like he's the super innocent nerd, like. But yeah, I really liked his character throughout the movie, and then I was really happy when it was revealed he was Ghostface, actually. I thought that was good. I mean, because I predicted it. I mean, I liked that I was able to predict it, so yeah. Anyway, though, next up in our number 4 spot, we have the final killer from Scream 6, who is my second favorite in the movie, but who I think is the best in the movie, though, which would be Detective Bailey, played by Dermot Mulroney. And Detective Bailey, I'd have to say, is probably the scariest Ghostface we've had. I mean, for one, he is definitely the one who attacked Sam and Tara in the bodega, and because Ethan and Quinn were both at the apartment, for one. I mean, he's the only one who could have attacked them there. I mean, of course, I guess Quinn was the one who almost killed Gale, but I thought Detective Bailey was great as Ghostface. I mean, he was scary, he was menacing, he embodied that. I mean, I thought he did a really good job as Ghostface, so yeah, but yeah, so next up in our number 3 spot, we have the OG Billy Loomis. And Billy, I loved him as Ghostface. He's everyone's favorite Ghostface, for one, I mean, because he's the original. However, I have him lower than my last 2 Ghostface killers because he was very predictable as the killer. I mean, he was just... It was obvious that it was him throughout the whole thing. I mean, they didn't really do a good effort to hide that he was the killer. I mean, for one, he really acted like a serial killer throughout the whole thing. So yeah. But yeah. But other than that, I think Billy was a great Ghostface. He was crazy. I mean, the reveal at the end was actually a really good reveal when he shot Randy, but we all go a little mad sometimes, don't we? But anyway, next up for my last 2 Ghostface killers, which I have actually interchanged quite a bit in my mind. There's always been one who I've always found to be better than the other. But honestly, I'm going to do this on which one I think was best, even if my number 2 I like better than my number 1. So yeah, this time, unlike my last video, these are 2 that I've changed around since, and which was better actually. I think at number 2 for the second best Ghostface is Charlie Walker. I say this because his accomplice, who I'll talk about in a minute, was more psychotic than him, you know. He was really more of a he was morally manipulated by his accomplice into doing this. I mean, he was manipulated. If it hadn't been for his accomplice, I don't think he ever would have become a Ghostface killer, you know? I mean, I don't think the idea had really ever popped into his head to kill his friends, you know? I mean, honestly, I feel like, for one, he was just the geekiest guy in school. I mean, he just did not feel like he could kill anyone. I mean, which, I mean, that happens. I mean, it really reflected reality, I mean, with him. He was pressured into the killings, I mean, but of course that's no excuse. So don't get any ideas, guys. But yeah, so yeah, but the number 1 on who I think is the best Ghostface is Jill Roberts from Scream 4. She was psychotic. She only wanted attention. The actress who played her, Emma Roberts, did a phenomenal job in this role. I did not see Jill coming when I watched this movie for the first time. I was shocked when they revealed it was her. I mean, like, I don't know, like, how do I say this? Jill, she was insane, for one. I was expecting, when it was revealed to be Charlie, I was actually expecting the other Ghostface to be Trevor. Which, honestly, if you ask me, I think it should have been Trevor. I love Charlie. He's my favorite Ghostface. But I think the movie would have been so much more interesting if it turned out that it was Jill and Trevor who acted like they hated each other the entire time, but were secretly working together, you know? I feel like that would have been such a good twist, but whatever, we can't change that now. I mean, but Jill she was great as Ghostface. She was psychotic. She wanted to be famous. She wanted to be the next Sydney, and she came up with a plan to make herself that. She planned to frame Charlie and Trevor for the killings. I mean, obviously Charlie was guilty, but Trevor was completely innocent, and yeah. But that will do it for this video of my top rankings for Ghostface and stuff like that. The 13 from the movies ranked. And yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. And obviously, as you see, I have a new background. So yeah, I have a bunch of Funko Pops right here. I have my Percy Jackson books, a couple a Batman and a Hulk, but the Hulk's kind of covered by the books I know. And then my Jason mask, and of course Spider-Man up there. So yeah, and I'll be adding to this background in the future too. So yeah, I really think this looks nice though. So yeah, But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. It means a lot. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as I really want to grow it. And yeah, so anyway, guys, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in another video. Goodbye.